Hey Maya.
Hi, Patrick. I'm so excited to be talking with you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining me. Who has had the biggest impact on the person you've become?
In life or
Yeah,
on the
in life.
Man, that's such a good question. Who has had the biggest impact? There's a lot of people that would contend for that. I've been really lucky. I could say, obviously my parents. My yeah, my parents have been great. My mom is a ER nurse. My dad is a paramedic. And so yeah, I mean this that's happening right now sort of was kind of put in motion by them a long, long time ago. And so feel very grateful for that. I think my sister and my brother have had a huge impact on me. I've had some really great teachers. Um, yeah,
Oh,
that's such a
wow.
great question. Uh,
Oh, thank you. I love that. Yeah, so you star as Dr. Langdon in The Pit, which is one of my favorite shows. It's so good and so realistic. What drew you to this show?
uh, yeah, I mean, thank you. I think I grew up, like I said, with two parents that worked in emergency medicine, and I know that they had often been quite, frustrated with medical dramas because it didn't often represent their lives as they lived them. And so the fact that, John Wells and Scott Gimel and Noah Wiley came along and had created this show that was really committed to authenticity and depicting these emergency workers' lives with as much uh, integrity as possible and not really allowing sort of like the demands of entertainment to trump the sort of responsibilities of authentic representation and a commitment to putting the medicine first. And I thought that was a really cool mission statement. I wasn't sure if it was going to work. I didn't know if anybody would watch it, but I was like, I think that's really cool, and it's been really amazing to see how many people are responding to it.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, my mom and I watched the show together, and both of us are obsessed with it. And have, yeah, we haven't seen a medical show like at so realistic. And we are both obsessed with the show. We love it.
Oh, cool. Thank you so much. Glad you're watching.
Yeah, it's one of those shows that I like. I'm just so excited to watch every week, and I know like on Thursdays I am watching The Pit, and so it always gives me something to look forward to.
Now, are you on the East Coast or are you on the West Coast?
I'm in Denver.
Right in the middle. Right in the
Yeah,
middle.
yeah.
Okay, so you don't have to stay up too late. It's like,
No. Yeah,
okay.
it's 7 p.m. on Thursdays.
I just got back to Brooklyn. I just got home. And it's really different watching the show. Whenever I'm in LA, the show comes out at 6 o'clock. But
Yeah.
coming like back on the East Coast, it's like the show comes out at 9. Um,
Yeah.
which is pretty funny. But uh
Yeah. Yeah. So can you relate to your character in any way?
yeah, yeah, definitely. Um I love I love Langdon. And I see a lot of myself in Langdon. Um I think that he is somebody that really wants to help people and is, maybe better at helping other people than he is at helping himself.
Mhm.
And I think probably feels most at home when he is focused on something outside of himself, uh, which I, really sympathize with. I also think, yeah, I mean, uh, he's he's also somebody that brings a sense of humor and tries to bring a sense of humor and to everything he does. And I think that he genuinely loves his job. He loves what he's doing. And as somebody that, uh, recently has been able to go to work on a television show every day. I love my job. And
Yeah.
so it's yeah, no, I think he's amazing and I think he's a complicated guy, but um I love it. I love yeah, there's a lot.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. So are there any moments from set that would make it on a blooper reel?
Yes. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. Yeah, I mean, as you know, we have a bunch of very complicated procedures that we do. We have a bunch of really complicated medical jargon language that we have to do, and we have a large team on set every day, making sure that it's done as accurately as possible. Because while neurocysticercosis may not mean anything to me, Patrick Ball, because it's just a big fancy word. That means something very specific. And if we or you know if I go in to do an ultrasound, and I do it wrong, there's going to be a huge number of emergency workers out there that will immediately see that and it will take them out of it. And so yeah, I mess up a lot, but luckily we get do-overs in TV, so
Oh.
that's a lifesaver.
Yeah, that's a lot less pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so I am pop culture obsessed and go on stages of shows that I cannot stop watching. Is there a show that you are currently obsessed with?
Uh, I'm catching up because I haven't had a ton of time to watch television. So I'm catching up. Me and my girlfriend are currently in the middle of season one of Yellowstone, which is really really fun. Um, let's see, I watched The Penguin lately, and I loved The Penguin. Um, but yeah, I mean, growing up, the shows that I were obsessed with were like West Wing and the ER and ER, and so West Wing, ER, The Wire, The Sopranos, all of that like sort of like golden age of television back when HBO was first sort of coming around and like those I go back to those shows regularly and I think it's just like kind of amazing that I get to work with those guys right now.
Love that. Yeah. Um, so if you had a warning label, what would yours say?
Oh my God. That's a good one. I think mine would just say Scorpio. I think that would be enough.
Oh yeah, I like that.
That would be enough.
Yeah. Yeah. So what genre of movie would your life story be told as?
What genre of movie? Uh, I think it'd probably be a comedy of errors. Just a bunch. 'Cause my whole life has just been a series of kind of inexplicable accidents that have just, sort of tumbled me in a kind of interesting direction. And so I think whenever I'm feeling my best and whenever I'm doing my best, that's sort of how I see it. And I also have these days where everything just feels like incredible tragedy. Uh, but um, but yeah, no, I think it's a comedy.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah, I'd watch that movie. Um, so what is the biggest obstacle you have overcome?
Mm. There there have been a few. I mean, for the most part, I've been very lucky. You know, come from a great family. Um, didn't grow up hungry. You know, very lucky to be, uh, um, physically healthy. Uh, I dropped out of college and moved to New York with about $2,000, and spent about 5 years auditioning and not getting a job. And then, I sort of travel around and uh, did plays all across the country, but there was never there's never much money, and so there were some pretty poor, like hungry days there for a while. Um, and I you know I spent a good deal of my 20s dealing with my own sort of wrestling match with substance abuse, and um and I feel, very, very lucky to have ended up where I am because there was a lot of opportunities to go a different direction. So,
Oh, wow. Yeah. So I just have one final question for you. I love inspiring and motivational quotes, and this week my favorite quotation is being called weird is like being called limited edition. It means you're something people don't see that often. Remember that. Is there a quotation that has inspired you lately?
oh man, I love that. All my favorite people are weird.
Yeah.
Aspire to be more weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, what's a quote that has meant something to me lately? Uh, Yesterday I spent the morning listening to this interview with Demi Moore, and she's just amazing. She's amazing. I don't know if I had ever listened to like a proper interview with Demi Moore, but she just an absolutely phenomenal person. And somewhere in that interview, her and Mark Maron spend a lot of time talking about her journey through life, as well as her journey with recovery from substance abuse or whatever. And they just speak beautifully on it. And she had this little quote where she said, everything changed for me whenever I made the shift from seeing my life as a series of things that happen to me, uh, rather than things that happen for me. And so, like, events come along all the time, unexpected challenges, you know, conflict with people that you love, disappointments in the job or whatever, and it can be really easy to sort of see these things as just like life happening to you and how it's just so not fair because it's not going the way you want it to go or whatever. But whenever you make that shift and be like, no, there's an opportunity in this, and there's a blessing in this, and the faith that this is happening for a reason, and it may lead me in a direction that I couldn't have chosen for myself. But if I just, radically accept my life for what it is and sort of follow life on life's terms, things are going to work out, and they may be weird, but they may be more interesting than what I had in mind. And I thought, uh, I don't know if that I'm probably butchering the quote, but to me, just spoke beautifully on that, and so that's what's sitting with me right now.
Oh, that. Yeah, that's a great one. Well, thank you so much for answering some of my questions, and I just can't believe I'm talking to you right now. I love your character on The Pit, and I can't wait to see where the season goes and everything else that you continue to do. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me on. I love your show.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot. Thank you.
I'll see you down the road.
Yeah.